Good evening. Welcome to tonight's webinar. I'm Jay Perez, the Assistant Admissions Director at Marine Military Academy. Before we get started, let's take a brief moment to run through some housekeeping items for tonight's webinar and ensure that everyone is comfortable using the technology. For optimal viewing of tonight's presentation, we recommend you close all other windows on your computer. You should be able to view a control panel located at the right of your screen. If you are familiar with WebEx technology, you may close the control panel to view full screen mode. If you are unfamiliar with WebEx features, I recommend that you leave your screen as is. There is a box located at the bottom of the control panel that allows you to chat by typing questions you may have through tonight's session. Please be patient as we work our way through questions being received. Tonight's webinar is being recorded and it will be available on our website within 48 hours if you would like to revisit tonight's discussion. Joining me tonight is Sergeant Major Ford Kinsley, the Commandant of Cadets, and Chris Elliott, who is our chaplain and also serves as Athletic Director. We will have a question-answer period at the end of tonight's webinar based on those that have been submitted. We will do our very best to answer those questions. However, due to the time constraints, if we have been unable to answer your question, please feel free to contact our admissions department during business hours at 956-421-9252 or email admissions@mma-tx.org. With those items out of the way, let's get started. Our focus during tonight's webinar is our sensational 4-week summer camp program. Our camp is for boys ages 12 through 18 if the 18-year-old hasn't graduated from high school yet. Campers come from all over the globe, all shapes, all sizes, and all colors within all cultural backgrounds. Speaking of around the globe, MMA also offers a concurrent summer camp for boys who wish to learn the English language. This is our English as a Secondary Language program. The ESL camp acts as an English immersion program. ESL campers receive instruction in English in various subjects such as grammar, composition, math, science, and reading. It is estimated to be about 84 hours of classroom instruction over the 30-day camp. Our camp proudly boasts 16 activities as well as being able to offer 2 optional electives a camper can choose from. These electives are offered at an additional cost. A camper can earn the opportunity to obtain Scuba Diving International's Open Water Diver certification through the Scuba elective, or the opportunity to experience the wonder of flight in a single-engine Cessna aircraft. The Scuba elective has limited space, so early sign-up is recommended. At this time, I am proud to be able to show you a brief summer camp video. Allow me to introduce Sergeant Major Ford Kinsley. He will share with you what it means to transform young men into emerging leaders during 4 weeks of pure adventure at the Marine Military Academy Summer Camp.
Thank you, Mrs. Perez. The day begins at 0600 for campers at the Marine Military Academy Summer Camp, with the sounds of reveille being played on the Barrick sound system. The new campers fall outside, eager to face their first day under the watchful eyes of the drill instructors and cadet instructors. For the next 4 weeks, they will learn their physical and mental limitations and discover the best ways to overcome them. Military Summer Camp at MMA teaches young men the self-discipline, confidence, and leadership qualities needed to meet the challenges life has in store. It's a camp that transforms young men into emerging leaders. Plus, it's just a lot of fun. Shooting, climbing, boxing, swimming, rappelling, confidence course, paintball, there are dozens of ways to fill the day at our camp. From reveille to taps, campers engage in activities most other young men only see on television. Qualified instructors guide campers through the activities safely, but with an additional mission of helping the boys reach and exceed their full physical and mental potential. Teamwork is an ever-present goal, and positive reinforcement from both the instructors and other campers becomes second nature. No one is left behind. Campers are grouped by age and assigned to one of several companies. Each individual camper is now an integral part of a team. As they encourage other team members and contribute to the success of their unit, they discover within themselves the value of teamwork and leadership. Summer camp is no longer just 4 weeks of fun. It's the forge for bonds each camper will keep for life. The Marine Military Academy transforms young men into self-disciplined, morally strong, college-prepared citizens. Our summer camp endeavors to do the same by instilling the tools of teamwork, leadership, and discipline into every camper. Each camper will pass through the gate of MMA with a greater sense of himself and others, an arsenal of tools he will use to meet the challenges in life, and a lifelong bond to the traditions and values of the United States Marine Corps.
Thank you, Sergeant Major Kinsley. Chris Elliott, our chaplain, will explain his role, which actively provides support and guidance to the campers.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. One of the great things about the Marine Military Academy Summer Camp is that we intentionally set out to challenge the holistic individual. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from or what kind of shape you're in, because we're going to challenge you like you've never been challenged before. As the chaplain, I serve in a very unique role in that process. Now, my main objective is to help these young campers to see just how important their choices and decisions really are. That everything that they do helps to build the foundation that they're going to live the rest of their lives on. That they're either going to reap the rewards of a strong foundation, or they're going to suffer the consequences of a weak one when the storms of life come. Now, obviously, the foundation that I'm speaking about is their character. And there are 2 ways that I challenge these campers to think about their character when they're here during summer camp. The first is through a series of classes that I teach throughout the camp, where I address the character traits of courage and honesty, integrity, and respect and responsibility. And the second is during a weekly chapel service, where they are spiritually challenged to evaluate their own lives. It doesn't matter if you're Catholic or Protestant or anything in between. We'll be sure to find an appropriate service for each and every camper to be challenged and encouraged while here at summer camp.
Thank you, Chaplain Elliott. At this time, we will now go to our question-answer session with a live video feed. All right, this question came in for Sergeant Major Kinsley. My son isn't athletically built, nor does he participate in sports. How will he be able to meet the physical aspect of camp?
Great question. Many of our young campers that come here are, the limits of their physical involvement has been on Madden football, on their Xbox 360. We start off at a very basic pace, assuming that many of the young men that are here have not been used to being outside doing physical training in the mornings and running the courses that we have here. We go as the Marine Corps motto of going as slow as as fast as our slowest man. We have many opportunities to do all of the courses. So if a youngster goes out to the obstacle course and is unable to complete all of the challenges the first time he goes out, he'll be out there at least 3 or 4 more times. And our confidence course, everything we do, he will have multiple opportunities there. He'll have a built-in cheering section with the other campers. So coming here overweight or coming here in what you feel is not in a good physical condition is not a problem. We're used to that. and we will work with every young man that comes here to the camp to ensure that they get the full benefit of all of our training and programs.
That is true. Thank you. This question came in, when should I apply for summer camp? I'll go ahead and take that. Summer camp, we usually fill up and start a waiting list June 1st. So I recommend that you get your forms in as soon as possible, at least before June 1st. Granted, we will still take the application if it's after that, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get in because of the more than likely the waiting list that we're going to go to. And let's see, this question, is my son required to bring a Bible for your service, Chaplain Elliott?
Well, a Bible is definitely not required. I would encourage, if you have a Bible and you want to bring it, as you saw earlier, that Sergeant Major Kinsley described the training schedule. There's not a whole lot of free time that's built into it, but every evening, he'll be allowed to write some letters home and read his Bible if he brings one. During our chapel services, we have a very good relationship with Gideon's International, and anybody that wants one will be passing out Bibles. It's definitely not a requirement. Everything that we do during our chapel services, I'll either have on video or a PowerPoint presentation, and that should pretty much take care of it.
Okay, all right. Will I be able to call someone and check on my son during camp? Sergeant Major Kinsley?
At registration, you'll be given an opportunity to meet your camper's drill instructor and assistant drill instructor. During the check-in process, they will give you their card, which will have their email addresses and phone numbers on it. And you feel welcome at any time to contact either your drill instructor with questions pertaining to your camper's progress and how he's doing, or you'll also be able to get information on contacting either the chaplain or myself. So although he won't be able to call you, he will be writing letters to you and will be able to discuss his own view of his progress here. But as with the school year here, your camper's drill instructor is your main source of information on how he's doing.
That is true, and a lot of the time admissions gets phone calls, and we always direct that to the appropriate drill instructor. So please, by all means, we do accept phone calls over the 4-week time.
Absolutely.
All right, question about homesickness. How does MMA handle a situation of homesickness with a camper? Chaplain Elliott?
As you can imagine, we get several hundred young men that come to us for summer camp, and they come from all over the world. These young men are excited, about the many things that they're going to be doing, the obstacles and the challenges that they're going to have, the friends that they're going to have an opportunity to meet, and wearing a military uniform and everything that goes along with summer camp. Most campers ride that enthusiasm all the way to graduation day, but there are a few that enthusiasm wanes after being here for a few days. And there are several layers of individuals that they have an opportunity to reach out to and talk constantly to. The first layer that they're going to have is going to be their cadet instructor. He's probably the one who's going to spend see him the most during summer camp. They are cadets from the previous school year that come back and kind of give us a little extra eyes and ears, work with the cadets daily on everything that they do. There's going to be the assistant drill instructor and drill instructor. They're going to be with the campers wherever they go. Sergeant Major Kinsley and myself are going to be always out and about. I know I walk the barracks, and where the campers go, I go. So it's always a ministry of presence, providing plenty of opportunity if somebody's struggling and having a difficult time transitioning, and perhaps it's a young man that hadn't been away from home for an extended period of time. That is common. He's going to have plenty of individuals to reach out to and talk to.
And typically they're so busy anyways during the day that,
it's some of the best sleep they've ever had.
That's right. You can hear a pin drop, they say. All right, next question. What if my son gets a cold or an illness during summer camp? How is that handled?
We have 2 licensed practical nurses that are on the staff here that conduct morning sick calls. So anyone that wakes up in the morning and has a problem or develops one during the day, there's plenty of opportunities for them to be treated by one of the 2 nurses. We have a contracted pediatrician for anything that they're incapable of handling that we transport the young men out to be looked at. So with the 2 nurses that we have here on staff and with Dr. Miranda is our assisting as our physician in town. We have plenty of backup as far as meeting all their medical needs. So.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, how long does it take to process my application? I'll take that one. It doesn't take long at all. Once I receive it either by fax or email or by mail, it usually takes about 24 to 48 hours. Granted, as we get into May and June, the crunch time is a lot heavier on me, so it might take, you know, up to 72 hours to process your application. Once I do get it in, I always email an acknowledgement of receipt, what I've received and what's still missing, and then I will correspond via email to you in that manner. So it doesn't take very long once I get it in. Let's see. I'm from Minnesota, and I heard that South Texas weather is extremely hot. What precautions are taken for campers? Sergeant Major?
It is very warm here in Harlingen during the month of July. We're very aware of that. Every camper is issued his own Camelback water carrier that is on his person just about the entire time that he is awake during the day, with the exception of morning PT. Every event that he goes to, he has his Camelback with him. We have water spots located around the campus so that they can be refilled. The schedule is built based on the assumption that they aren't used to the heat, so it's a very balanced schedule whereby there will be an outdoor activity for an hour and a half, and then we will go into King's Gym or the pool or the rifle range, an area that's air conditioned, and give them an opportunity to have a balance of in and outdoors. We make sure that they eat. They have 3 well-balanced meals a day. They get a minimum of 8 hours of sleep in the evening. But the other thing that we do is after second mess, after their lunch period, we give them a 1-hour rest period where it's an opportunity for them to lay down, take a nap, if you will, in an air-conditioned spot before they come back out in the afternoon when the heat is significant sometimes. So constant awareness of what's going on with the campers. The cadet instructors, the adults that are on the staff are always monitoring them for any heat, illness, signs that we may see, and again, the fact that they have water on their person all the time is our main line of defense.
All right. Well, and that actually leads into the next question that we got, a question of tell us about the accommodations. As Sergeant Major Kinsley mentioned, we do have air conditioning barracks. It's 2 to a room with a private connecting shower. Obviously if they're outside, it's outdoors, but if they're inside, we do have air conditioning facilities. Did you want to add anything to that?
No, we have Yuckel Auditorium where the chaplain will give most of his classes, which is a very large air-conditioned space. The Cadet Activity Center where they will do the boxing activity and other things is air-conditioned. The rooms, again, as Ms. Perez said, is 2 to a room. The campers are grouped by age, so we don't have a 12-year-old bunking with an 18-year-old or anything like that. The company he is in will be with other campers his own age. So it's rather Spartan. He has a wall locker and a bed and a desk and a chair, but he doesn't spend a lot of time in there doing anything other than sleeping, so he doesn't need a whole lot of fancy stuff. So.
Good, thank you. All right, how much is camp? The 2013 camp that is fast approaching is a total of $4,250. Next question, is it okay to fly my son down by himself for camp check-in? By all means, yes. We always allow visitors, families to check in. That's not a problem. However, if it's a funding issue, we always recommend, yes, go ahead and put them on a plane, provide the details to admissions office, and that information is recorded on the acceptance paperwork that you will be getting once he's accepted. Fly him down to the Harlingen Valley International Airport. Based on flight times, flight numbers, we will be there to pick him up. Once we pick him up and he's safely on campus, he will be instructed to phone home from a landline that we have. Now, a lot of the other questions that we do get sometimes, I'm just going to throw this one out there, is can my son travel with a cell phone? Yes, he can, but once he arrives for check-in, that is picked up and stored away with his luggage pieces and whatever else he has brought for camp. So, thank you. Let's see. Next question, how do I communicate with my son during the camp? I know Sergeant Major Kinsley had mentioned the traditional method of letter writing. He can write letters and he can receive letters, but that's basically it. There's no phone calls in or out to your camper, to a parent, or visitation at all. Sergeant Major Kinsley, did you?
One thing you can do, however, as I said, you will be given the email address for your drill instructor, your camper's drill instructor. You can send an email to your son through that drill instructor, and he will ensure that that information, that email itself, actually gets passed to the young man. And he won't be able to respond to you on email, but any information that you have to pass to him, you can do that way as well. So you will get some interesting letters from many of these young boys. It's the first time they've ever written a letter home in their life, and sometimes they even forget what their mom's name is, because I've seen envelopes that have been addressed to Mom, Chicago, Illinois. So please make sure that if you send him down here that he does have a good, correct mailing address and that he does know what your name is, Mom.
And Facebook is very important to us here at MMA and the parents back home. So we put videos out there, commentary by Sergeant Major Kinsley, Chris Elliott, admission staff, and other staffers of Marine Military Academy. So you definitely want to like us on Facebook, because we don't want you to miss anything. You might see photos. We take a lot of photos. We're real good at that. So all right, let's see. It looks like this is the last question. Can I sign my son up for scuba and the aerospace elective together? No, only one elective can be chosen for summer camp. Logistically, scheduling wise, it just does not work out. So that answers that. All right, let's see. Well, that wraps up our live video feed. I would like to thank each of you that have joined tonight's summer camp webinar. We appreciate your thoughts and questions this evening. If we were unable to answer your question in tonight's session, please contact our admissions department at 956-421-9252 or through the main campus line 956-423-6006, extension 861, which rings everyone in admissions, or email admissions@mma-tx.org.